time for a robbery report. It's time to talk about it a little bit, man. Ji Yeon Kim versus Priscila Cachoeira. They took home fight of the night, and not to mention Armin Tsarukyan did get performance of the night on that last one, but this was the fight of the night right here, and I didn't think that it was going to be able to surpass the Armin Petrosyan versus Gregory Rodriguez fight, which could have been fight of the night. That was basically locked in fight of the night until this fight took place. However, this is the same situation we're talking about, AJ. Ji Yeon Kim did all of the work on the feet. She outlanded Priscila Cachoeira 170 to 102 in terms of significant strikes. She did get taken down once, so that's something to take note of, but Priscila Cachoeira got a 29-28 across the board decision, brother. Like, across the board. Like, everybody was like, oh yeah, Cachoeira won that. And I think me and you both know why this is. So I want you to start this off, brother. Give me your assessment. Obviously, pressure was a big deal, but the power, the body language, right? The demonstrative nature of Cachoeira probably won her the fight, especially in that third round. What was it in your eyes that won Cachoeira the fight, even though Kim was being surgical with her strikes?
Surgical, Derek. No, I actually had Kim winning the first two rounds, and then I had Cachoeira coming back. There was a moment. I mean, it was the same thing, man. Power in the Cachoeira versus the speed and the precision of Kim. Very interesting fight. It was. I don't really know what, I guess, did it in the other rounds, because it was the more impactful shots that Cachoeira was winning. You were able to see the body language of Kim turning it down, but at the same point, there was a start of the third round where Kim looked like she was turning it up, man, and Cachoeira kind of started to have that look in her eye, and that's when in the third round, Kim started landing the bigger shots, and it almost reinvigorated Cachoeira to go forward, and then she started really throwing those inside elbows, literally, she said, fuck the hands, I'm throwing elbows all day long, like 2 minutes left in the third. I think it did come down to body language and the visual aspect of what was going on for these judges. They were just not necessarily watching the punches, but more watching the fighters of how they held themselves. Because once Kim kind of got up at the beginning of the third round and then really started to lose it, you did see she kind of melted a little bit back. She was down to take that back foot back against the cage, rest on what she did for the rest of the fight. Because I thought she looked great in the first two rounds, man. In that third round, I did score for Cachoeira because she kind of had a little bit more tenacity and grit in the end of it. It was a good fight though. Either way, what do you think, Derek? What gave you the impression Cachoeira won?
Well, I didn't think she won. I thought that Kim won the fight. I thought that she passed the eye test. I thought Cachoeira on the eye test won, because what I saw was Priscila Cachoeira with the big animated strikes. I'm going to walk forward, walk you down. I'm going to eat 5 punches to get into the range to then drop the one that shakes you and makes you stumble 3 feet across the cage, right? Kim had that on Cachoeira as well. Don't get me wrong. I think Cachoeira just got really tired, and Kim was able to just start picking her apart, and that was the game plan. And Cachoeira, if you look at, there's a post-fight photo, man, where she's wearing it, brother. Like, her face is roughed up. Kim's isn't even really that roughed up at all, which goes to show also, like, who do you think won the fight? That's not the only indicator, right? Because some people, they wear damage differently on their face, but I do think that it was the body language. I think when Cachoeira was dropping those elbows on Kim, she just shelled up and she deflated herself, her whole body. So if she could have stayed tough, like, nah, I'm here to bang, I'm gonna sit there and I'm gonna trade and do all that, instead of being the fighter who I kind of talked about last week, saying that, like, when she's on her back foot and she's getting pressured, she crumbles a little bit, you know what I mean? And, like, she was still being surgical. She was still counter-striking amazingly, but, like, the body language, everything, she isn't that same fire fist flow fighter that she is when she's on the front foot and just putting it on you. So, Cachoeira, man, listen, it's just the body language. It's the vigor, I think, that won her the fight. But my question to you is, I got 2 questions. The first one is, and we'll start piece by piece. Cachoeira, can she sustain success in the UFC? She's 3-4 now with this fighting style, brother, because she's hands down, eat 5 shots, throw big looping punches. Her nickname is Zombie Girl for a reason. She eats a lot of damage, man, and she's not the most technical striker in the world. Let's just say that. Is this sustainable for her in the UFC?
No, man, not at all. And to me, those elbows were a last act of a desperate woman. Those were like, oh shit, I got to do something now. Yeah. And when that starts happening with somebody who's a little bit more game of an opponent, who's down to square off and stand in that phone booth, that's how you go to sleep.
Yeah, no, I absolutely agree. Against somebody with a little more power in her hands, Priscila Cachoeira definitely could have been caught napping on that mat right there. So the second question to you is that this is 3 losses in a row for Ji Yeon Kim. Now, this is the one that's heartbreaking, because you say, I did what I needed to do to win the fight, man. They just didn't give it to me. I hope Uncle Dana gives her another shot in the UFC. She's clearly a talented prospect, brother. This is the whole key right here. Ji Yeon Kim, let's take a look real fast, man. When I'm just looking at the numbers right here, yes, she's on a 3-fight losing streak. She lost to Alexa Grasso, a decision, lost to Molly McCann, a decision, and now Priscila Cachoeira, a decision. Her last win was against Nadia Kassem. That was a knockout victory. But before that, she lost to Antonina Shevchenko, man. She's 4-1 in her last 5. Does she stick around? Because I think she's so talented, brother. I think she has the chops to make a run if she just gets it together. But does she stick around in the UFC after, amassing a 4-1 record in the last, or a 1-4 record in the last 5?
I hope so, man. I do think Ji Yeon Kim is a very talented fighter. I just hope she gets kind of invigorated because of the loss, man. That she really, you said it best, man. She deflated on that when things started going against her. She really deflated, and I'm hoping she comes back in a little bit more tenacity, man, because she is a really good fighter. I hope they keep her around. I disagree a little bit with what you said though, Derek, because she did not do everything she needed to do to get the dub. Obviously, you never leave it to the judges. Yeah. But I do think she had the opportunity to do that, and it just slipped away from her.
So last thing here, because this just made a great point. Do you think in her head she walked away thinking that, though? Like thinking like I did what I needed to do to win? Or do you think she I could have did more? Because like if you're talking about strikes, brother, that's just what I'm saying. She outstruck her by 70 shots. Like she's like statistically number-wise, I should have won the fight. But like, do you think that she's taking that away in her head, or do you think that she's going the opposite? Because that's really interesting.
It's very interesting because it's hard. Like, I think to make yourself feel better, you say that.
Yeah.
But then later on in the practice room or in the film room, you go back and you look and you say, like, I guess I didn't leave it all out there, because at the end of the day, if you leave it to the judges, you almost you didn't win. You obviously didn't get the full thing. Sure, you might have got the dub on paper, but you didn't finish the fight, and that's really what we're going for.
Yeah, I think it's a Floyd Mayweather quote or something where he says, like, it's our job to be the judges or something like that. I don't know. You might have said that. I don't know. I heard that recently, and I thought that was really interesting because it is your job to not leave it in the hands of the judges. But listen, AJ, I think that Ji Yeon Kim is probably going to have to go take a trip into go talk to her accountability mirror, you know what I'm saying, and get something together right there. Shout out to our boy David Goggins. But that is a long-winded approach to saying that Priscila Cachoeira got the nod. Robbery report? Probably not, right? Just because Ji Yeon Kim should have done a little bit more. However, on paper, I do agree Ji Yeon Kim should have got the nod. So that's it.